Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Truth Table. I'm Paul Everton, the host. It's February 24th, 2025, and my guest tonight is a candidate for Sault Ste. Marie, Arnold Heino, who's a lab technician who studied at Algoma University, and he's going to tell us what inspired him to get into politics and why he chose the New Blue Party of Ontario. And we're going to ask him, sit down, talk to him, get to know him right after this. Well, I have made it through 60 episodes, and I never dreamed I would be doing this for a living. But it is election time. We've got a few days left, and I would like to introduce you to as many candidates as possible that I believe in. And please welcome my next guest, Arnold Heino. Thank you for coming, Arnold.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure. I love that old piano music there. All I need is a scotch and cigar.
Yeah, that's what I used to do before I started doing podcasts. I play piano, and that's one of my pieces called Angels and Devils. And I think we're in that kind of situation right now where you were a lab technician, but somehow you chose to get involved with politics. So what was the deciding factor that it compelled you?
Well, actually, it's twofold. I was a lab technician, and I was one of many healthcare workers that stood up against the vaccine, and so I was let go from my job. So that was the first part. But the part that really took me over the top was when they're mandating the pride ideology in the schools. Like out in BC, you have the SOGI 123, and Ontario, you have the WIND curriculum, whatever. And like when I got let go from Life Labs, I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself, whatever. But the government putting all this stuff on the kids, that was enough. Kids, they can't protect themselves, and no disrespect to parents, but they're afraid to say anything either because they're afraid if something happens to them or their kids. So that was a time that I said enough's enough. Somebody's got to speak up for them. And being a Finlander and having lots of CISO in me, bring it on.
So what was it that made you choose the New Blue Party? What was the deciding factor for that choice?
Well, federally, I'm a candidate for the People's Party of Canada, and the platform is almost similar. Like it's true to my values. Like I'm a Christian, and it's time to get our country back to the way it was, the supremacy of God and the rule of law, and their platform just fit perfectly with my.
Yeah, I agree. They are very similar. They really basically standing up against the bully. That's what it seems like. Now, so far, do you think not inviting, candidates to debates is election interference?
You think? Literally, that happened to Sault Ste. Marie. So we had two debates. One was with the Ontario Secondary Teachers Federation and Local Steelworkers 2251, and the only candidate showed up per se was the NDP candidate, and nobody else got an invite at both both debates, they said they uh, they invited everybody, and I talked to the other candidates. Nobody got an invite. So they had a third one that was just the other day at Legion. I was going to do a meet and greet at a retirement home, and somebody was at the Legion said, "Arnold, you have to get here. They're having a candidates meeting." So I went in there and expecting, I thought maybe they're trying to set things straight without all the candidates being at the other debates. Excuse me, and it was actually a debate. So I went in there. I said, can you tell me why I wasn't invited?" He says, "Well, we only invited the top four, like the Liberals, PCs, NDP, and the Green Party." I said, "Well," I said, "I'm from the New Blue Party." And she goes, I said, "It's only proper that you invite all six parties." And she says, "Do you want to go up on stage?" I said, "Sure, bring it on." So I got thrown to the wolves, but it was all cool.
Good for you. Now, do you think if there's any kind of remedy for not inviting the candidates? Is there any legal remedy do you think that we could get as interference in democracy, basically?
I
Because I really see it as silencing voices.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be looked into 100%. Like, I mean, the people like worry about Sault me, but they deserve to hear everyone's voice. After all, last I checked, our charter rights says we're a democracy, supposedly.
I think that they have skewed the meaning of the word democracy to ensure that they never lose power. Do you think the Dominion voting machines are a problem?
Federally, they're not used federally, but provincially are. I mean,
Yes.
I wouldn't trust them. I mean, they were used out in BC, and look what happened there. And states, I mean, what more can you say about the states? So,
well, in the States, they proved it in court that they can be hacked. Someone
yeah.
went in there and hacked it and proved it. So we know that's a potential. I think of it, all the political parties in the provincial debates, there's only four of them, right? The Green, the NDP, Liberal, and the progressive conservative. They're not
Yes,
conservatives at all. They're
exactly.
progressive like liberals. They're like left wing, right wing of the same bird. And the NDP is like the bird itself because they're like far left as you can go. And then you got the feet of the bird, that the eco fascist Green Party, who would basically put trees over people. So, they're the climate change extremists. But provincially, a mandate would give you the ability to repair the schools and get rid of DEI. So, for that, I think that would be a lot of common reason why people have joined politics where they would have never done such a thing. Just like me, podcasts. I mean, that's why I'm here. This isn't my natural place, really. I could talk to people, and I guess that's why I was kind of pushed into this direction. But having control over the, mandate a majority, you'd be able to fix the schools. So what do you think would be your first thing that you would want to target with the DEI and the gender pronouns and the pride flag? Like, would you get rid of all of those things?
Oh, 100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, what's happened now is the government is using, like, they're using the kids in schools as a political pawn kind of deal, and even in unions are doing the same thing. They're using the kids and the schools as political pawns. I mean, what better place to push this ideology on kids? I mean, they don't. To them, it's their brains are like sponges, and like, but in reality, what the education system should just be about teaching math, arithmetic, history, science, and stuff like that. But education's supposed to be like, what a concept that would be if they actually only taught education and not ideology.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that we have brilliant minds out there that could create amazing curriculums, which include, growing food, preparing meals, political ideologies, and teaching them each one. Like even liberals, they could, you know, learn the platform and then, go by what they said they were going to do and what they actually did. And, like all the facts are there, before us. So we can teach, while they broke their promise here. And, the children deserve the truth and they really need to be educated with a voting, you know, who they're voting for. And not only that, but, managing money. They could learn trades like carpentry and plumbing and get a little taste of each trade during the first, years of their schooling so they can, really find what they're attracted to,
Well,
and then they could. I think the kids could be apprenticeship, have apprenticeships out of high school. Forget college and university. They should be able to go right into carpentry, right into uh, whatever their heart compels them to can be found out in those years, and they could go right into it right after.
well, I totally agree with you. I mean that, like I remember going to school in grade 7 and 8, and we used to have a half hour or once a week just have an hour where we go to another school and learn how to do wood projects and all that.
Mm.
And then back in high school, they used to have the auto class, the woodworking class, and that should be when you get in high school, prepare them more for the workforce. And then because I mean that's where we
Yeah.
need all the help. That's where we need all the help right now. Like university, as far as I'm concerned, I mean unless you're getting into like um, biology or something like that, but it's university has become more of a DEI project.
Yeah. Like every day they could have a different exposure to a different trade, and they could have someone in the trade, like a carpenter, cutting wood and making something, making a little house or, and just showing it to them. And whoever, the kids could vote and, who likes it, how do you like it between 1 and 10? And, it can really carve their future really early in life.
Well, I agree with you. I mean the trades. Like you look at auto mechanics, like nobody wants to get into it anymore, and because I mean
Mm.
it's so computerized and all that. But still,
Yeah.
like I mean, you still have to build houses. You still have to maintain cars.
Hmm.
I mean, there's so many opportunities in the trades, and at the same time as you might even entice somebody to run their own business too. So
But I mean, you could also have the power to release technologies that we have. Like, for example, hemp grows, it's like the most productive field to grow. It grows the fastest, and, it's just a very profitable um, thing to grow. And if you apply it with patio tiles, for example, they're 3 times lighter and 3 times stronger. So we could apply that to roads. So we're now replacing the roads and having potholes and all this crap. This all can be avoided with hemp. Hemp used as a um, insulation for a house. They're fireproof. They've tried to set them on fire and they just won't. They won't catch on fire. So I mean, we could do everything better. Roads, sidewalks, houses, just by letting go of that manipulation against hemp. Makes the strongest rope, for example. So
I've,
would the new
I've,
party end these wars, these profiteer wars, and allow hemp to be, reestablished into our society so we could have better everything? Imagine patio tiles that are 3 times lighter. You can move them around and they don't crack and break so easily. I mean, we can do everything better. Education, our buildings, but also I would like to see a proactive new blue party in power because I think all these things will be allowed to happen. If you have a great idea, I don't see the new blue rejecting it because of a profit of one particular company because they're not really fascist. Where we have a fascist system where money buys everything. Like, would the new blue get rid of the stronghold milk mafia that we have over our milk and eggs,
Well, I
supply
mean,
management?
it's sad that in our own country, you can't we have tariffs on the borders there. Like, I mean, it's it's totally wrong. Like, we have the richest resources of any country in the world, and yet we're stifling our we're choking ourselves to death just with our own tariffs within our country. Like, I know everybody's
Yeah,
gung ho about Trump right now, but I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for Canada or even Ontario to work proactively economically with the states and
hmm
get rid of that border nonsense and not become the 51st state, but become economically together with the states so that we'd be the envy of the rest of the world, and not we wouldn't have to rely on the rest of the world.
hmm Well, I mean, I would love to see um, New Blue and Libertarians have, like half of the House legislature just to keep everything in check. Because I think if you actually got power in the legislature, that you would never lose it just because of your platform.
Well,
Because people would see results.
and that's
You're the only party that's offering it to to fix it, and you can
well,
fix it.
the beauty is a lot of it has less government because you look. It doesn't matter what level of government you have and what
hmm
part of the government you have. It's also top end heavy, and
hmm
nobody knows where the money's being spent. Like I really think that if we're funding projects, whatever, we need to know exactly where the money is going for materials, right down to the last cent, where the money is being spent for labor, who, which companies are you bringing in to build that company? Is there a
hmm
between companies? Because once the money is doled out, nobody knows where it goes, and it seems like they always run over budget.
Always. We would lose our homes if we behave the way they do.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So, Arnold, would you be for a Doge kind of system where we just clean up, find a ways, get rid of it in every department, the school board, the board of health, all these departments that have the stronghold over freedom? Because the health department can just, someone sneezes and they could just declare an emergency.
Yeah. Oh, guaranteed. We have to start holding the government accountable. I mean, the problem, like whether it be provincially, municipally, even and federally, like, I mean, it's all government jobs. Like, you look at the federal government, it's that's the most biggest employer in the world. I mean, in Canada, I should say, and all that is just a way of buying votes.
Yeah. Do you fear that this might be the last election to save this province?
Uh, on one hand, yes, I do. On one hand, no. But I mean, it's starting to look like that. Like, it's almost
Yeah.
like Canada is the last stranglehold that they want to put their one world order agenda around.
hmm Yeah, I think so. But I just think we can't change what's going to happen, but we can try to do everything we can to protect each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what you're doing. That's what you're a part of. But was there any correlation though with as a lab technician to become more politically astute and it being brought to your attention? Are there any correlations between the two?
Well, I was on when I worked in Paris Sound as a lab technician too before I moved back home, and I was on I was a member of the board, so I worked on the board there. So I kind of seen how the ins and outs of how the hospitals work and all that. So I kind of had an insight there. But I mean, I guess when I was younger, I was my uncle was in the NDP big time in Sioux here, and when he used to go to Mexico, I'd stay at my grandmother's house and just to be with her so she wouldn't be alone. And I'd sleep in his bedroom, and all full of socialist books, Karl Marx and NDP books and all that. The funniest thing, no pun intended, but that was the coldest room in the house too, eh?
Yeah, I bet.
Like it
Yeah.
really was. But that's why I started. That'd be around when I was 16, 18 or something like that. And so that's why I started dabbling into it back then. And then, but then when the lockdown, like when the lockdowns happened and the COVID nonsense came in, and I could see what's coming on with the COVID shot and all that. And I told everybody they're going to mandate you get these shots, and nobody said no. It's going to be choices. No, they're going to mandate it, and you watch. They're going to lock us down. Sure enough, they locked us down. So.
Yep, he sure did. Now, if you'd like to get to know Arnold a little better, if you know someone in Sault Ste. Marie, you can find him on Twitter at Arnold_Heino. And there's his page right here. And there he is with his signed telling you must do this or else. We could lose it all. Oh, man. And I don't want to seem doom and gloom, but I am kind of black-pilled, to be honest with you. With the Dominion voting machines, I'm very black-pilled. Because if they can skew the numbers, that's why none of the four parties in the debates, they all voted for critical race theory. So they're all against us, really, against parental rights. Critical race theory teaches racism to children. So this is all unnatural. We're not born racist. We're taught it. So they're teaching it openly. And that was the NDP that brought that into the legislature. And the New Blue co-founder, Belinda Karahalios, is the only one who said no.
Yeah.
That black pilled me. She was the only one out of the entire legislature, all the power in there, that stood up for parents. Like, my God, what a disaster that all these people, all these narcissistic sociopaths got into power. See, that's the thing, eh? Good people don't pursue politics. It's very ugly, backstabbing. It's very profitable, but you really need to be a narcissistic sociopath. Even if you hurt someone, there's no guilt. You don't feel guilty when you're a narcissist. You don't feel bad for your victims. So this is a kind of the situation I feel. The people in debates all betrayed us, and the media is, as fascism, are complicit by exposing that these are our choices. These are the only four viable choices for you to vote for. What a manipulation. They're like the worst ones to choose.
Well, I think, like, the sad part is, like, men have lost their testosterone. Like they have no balls anymore. I don't mean that.
No, well, that was in the food.
Yeah,
they did through food, milk. They put hormones in the milk.
Like when you have this stuff teaching this stuff at schools, all that, and you have the pride flag, and it's all over the place. Like, I mean, when my father ever caught that, I mean, I pity the school if he went there. Like, he'd be all over them. But it's like our societies just went total
mass formation, like a massive hypnosis. But yeah, they have done this over time. They have been incrementally feminizing boys, which also the hormones in the milk, and also created women developing breasts sooner as well, which was the effect of the hormones. And it is also part of the harmonizing, because a lot of the people that are immigrating here believe as soon as a girl has her period, you can marry her.
Yeah.
This isn't really a Canadian cultural belief, but it is scriptural. I mean, it is there, so they have their period. It's in the Bible and the Quran. So they both are guilty of this. We just don't practice that because I don't think it's moral to make such a huge decision like gender reassignment is absolutely insane abuse of children right before our own eyes, things that we would never even consider doing to a child because they become eunuchs. They could never have children, never have an orgasm. I mean, their life is over. All the gifts from heaven are gone, stolen. The procreation is why we're here, right? To multiply.
What a
But see,
concept.
you can see right here in your platform, New Blue Party of Ontario is in favor of legislation and fines that protect the access right of those who choose not to take the thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for you, YouTube thingy.
No, it has to stop. I mean, it's yeah. Some days, like we were talking about the immigration thing, that has to stop too. I mean, like
Yep.
we are being overrun, and I don't care what anybody says, but this is a planned invasion. They they
It
warned
is.
they warned about this 20 years. I remember 20 years ago watching a thing on YouTube and stating that we are going to infiltrate the Western societies, not with weapons, but we're going to infiltrate it within, and that's what they're doing. I mean,
Yep.
you got them burning our Canadian flag, like, and nobody stood up, like saying "Death to Canada." It boggles my mind that if I caught somebody burning the Canadian flag, I mean, it's not going to be walking very far because that's you. You're disrespecting our country.
It is. I personally really wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother me. It's like, okay, you bought a flag, you're burning it, you're being disrespectful. It doesn't hurt me. You know what I mean?
Well,
It,
I look at it as a act of war.
well, it is disrespect. If it's someone from another country doing it, yeah. What the hell are you doing here then? If you hate this place so much, get out
Yeah,
of here. Go back. I mean, I would like to see a new blue government taking on a policy that if one of these immigrants break the law, kills, robs, whatever, breaks the law, that whoever they came with will go back with them to their country, be, banned from Canada permanently, and
yeah,
including everyone they came with. If they came in with their mom and dad and their 17 children, all of them have to go back. That's what I would like to see in order to filter out the good and the bad, because we know some bad are in, but we don't know who. We can't just hate everyone. We have to love our enemy. So we have to base, exporting them out on their actions. You know, I just want to be responsible without appearing racist, but just be protecting Canadians that from Canada,
yeah.
like you and I.
No, like anyway, there's a point in time where we have to take care of Canadians first, and then
Yep.
and then carefully bring in immigrants wherever, it doesn't matter, but and properly vet them. Like first off, you need to learn how to speak English. I mean,
Yes.
because there's a lot of them come over here like I in my apartment building, like they can't speak, read, or write English. Like how are they over here? Like I mean, and
Yep.
that's putting such a social strain on our system.
Yeah, I saw in a food bank there was like 9 Nigerian or Africans. They all had cell phones and they were all together and they were all collecting individually. So they were all getting free food and they all lived together. And
Yeah,
there was like I think there were 6 of them, like 2 women and 4 men, and they all left together and they had this truck full of food. They're totally using the system. Meanwhile, they're all on their cell phones. Like, how can you have a mobile phone, and pay for the internet, and then be in a food bank? And they all have phones. Like, you all have phones. These are all like $2,000 phones, and you're in a food bank. What? This doesn't go together to me. This is someone using the system,
Yeah.
overwhelming the system.
Oh yeah. Everywhere you look, I mean, they walk and they drive with their cell phones. Like,
Yep.
and they wonder why there's so many truck accidents. Like Highway 17, Highway 11, like, and it's a death trap now. With the
But they're gonna want more. They're being spoiled, so they're being treated like better than Canadians. They're getting more than the least of us. The disabled and the poor. They're getting way more than them. That's not cool in my books. Would you end that sort of policy as well?
oh, guaranteed. I mean, the way it's like it's like you look at the pride movement or the DI, whatever. We gave them what they want, an inch, and now they're taking a whole marathon.
Yeah.
And you're right. This is going to happen with the immigrants. I mean, like they're supposed to be going to school, but probably 3/4 of them aren't going to school.
Hmm.
Because we have these schools like our famous Algoma University here has a satellite school down in Brampton. All it is just a wall on a building,
Mm.
and there's no classrooms there.
Yeah. So everybody, this is like what I love about the New Blue Party. This is on their website. If you want to see, newblueontario.com. And I think a lot of, like, everyone I know is against the woke Bill 667, critical race theories. And, like, you're one of the only parties that is actually talking about it, which is really scary. I mean, they all should be talking about it. You know what I mean? If they really represented us, it would be front and center for all of them. They would be using it as a sales pitch. We'll get rid of this if you vote for us. But they're not. The bad guys are saying, we'll double your ODSP in 2 years. It's all payoffs, money. Same with Trudeau. But what did Trudeau do? He did the most evil thing biblically. He he used enticed them with making marijuana legal, but he also did right away. He made bestiality legal,
Yeah.
and that's like the most anti-religious move, and it really showed what progressive liberalism is now. It's a very dark, evil thing. I mean, I don't care what people do, at home. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know about it. But to actually make it legal puts it before us. You could decriminalize it, and then you don't have to talk about it. But you legalized it. You made it front and center. This is a priority for us, that you can, have relations with your cows and your goats. I mean, my God, it's just like end times, end days stuff I'm seeing here.
Well, it's
With
funny you bring up the marijuana there. I remember it was down in Parry Sound and was in Emerge talking with the OPP and nurses and doctors, all that. And first thing out of the mouth that day that Trudeau legalized marijuana, he said, "This is the end for Canada. It's going to be rough times ahead." And now it seems like you have more cannabis stores than you have corner stores now. Like it's and then you have Trudeau there with this pilot program of legalizing 3.5 grams of fentanyl for personal use. Like you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it just makes you shake your head. And what you almost want to think of, what kind of drugs are these guys on? The government, I mean.
Would you say you're black pilled too? Or are you? Do you have hope?
Some days yes, and some days no.
Well, I think it's important that you never give up hope.
Well, I never will.
It's okay for me to be black pilled, but I don't want to black pill anyone else. But I am going to bring the truth out. Like, the Dominion voting machines is something everyone needs to understand. That we really, unless we have paper ballots, we could never contest a vote. And we really need to have that power. to have a free country.
Well, in the Sioux here, like our PC candidate Chris Scott, the PCs didn't have a choice in who they wanted for the candidate. Doug Ford parachuted him in.
Really?
Like, and like a lot of PCs and a lot of Siouxites are like, what the heck's going on here? Like, we want people representing us that are born here or live here. Like I think he was helping out Ross Romano, who was the last MP for the Sioux, and then he went down and worked with Ford down in Queens Park, and then Ford called the election, and then next thing you know, he says Chris Scott is the candidate, and then the next day, our city was littered with PC signs all over the city overnight.
Wow. Yeah, and I was worried about Ford because, like, he did say he was going to get rid of the sex education. He said it was a little crazy and wrong, and but then he totally flip flopped on that promise.
Yeah,
and he called us friends. I think that was ignorant of him to call us friends because friendship has to be earned.
yeah.
And he was calling us friends like it was so phony. Hi, friends. I mean, I would never say that. When I open my podcast, I don't say, hello, friends. No, brothers and sisters, because it's true. That's the truth. We're all family. You know, we're all children of God. So I consider everyone family, even my enemy, because there's family members I'm not crazy about, you know. Like, I love all the children of God, but some of them get on my nerves.
Well, didn't he pull a? He went to a mosque, whatever, and wore their hats the other day. That was pathetic to look at.
It was. And he couldn't get down the way they pray. They get right down, eh? He wouldn't have got up.
I never thought about that. You're right.
It's true. He couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't do it. He said, "No, I'm not doing that one."
Like, what
Because
is it?
they completely do this with their body, with the ground, and it's not easy. I mean, I tried.
I find it comical that, and everybody complained about Trudeau, I should say, when he went down to India, and now you see everybody doing the same thing.
Polyev too.
Yeah, Polyev too. Yeah,
all do it, man. You know, and that's the last thing we want. We don't want leaders that appropriate other cultures.
no,
Don't wear a costume just to try to appease a culture that isn't ours. It's okay to respect other cultures, but you don't wear their outfits, their traditional gowns. You remain a Canadian. I will, like, if I was a leader, I would never change my, I would change my shirt, but I would be suit and tie all the time. I wouldn't wear a headgear of the Zeeks or no. Just because you have a community now, you've imported your culture here, doesn't mean you get to change our culture or expect us to conform to your culture, because we're not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And no leader should do it. To me, that's a disrespectful act to Canadians to appropriate an Indian culture garb. It's just absolutely despicable, really. It's spitting in our face. Just like the rainbow crosswalks is spitting in the face of every Christian.
it is. Yeah,
it really is.
But we in the Sioux here, we had they put the rainbow crosswalk, and I guess a few people there went and see if their tires were sticky or not sticky enough, pretending to drag racing, eh? So they marked them up, and then our good old mayor here, he goes, "That's the number one thing on the list. We got to get that repainted right away." But meanwhile, you got drug right across the road at Tim Hortons. You got druggies sitting, and I don't mean ignorant. We got addicts that are sitting in a Tim Hortons lot there shooting up. But no, the priority is got to be that Pride sidewalk.
Yeah, and it's just like even with the marijuana, when he made cannabis legal, they altered it, they changed it.
Oh
They
yeah.
genetically modified it, so it was
Well,
no longer what it was.
didn't happen about a month or so ago, a couple months ago, when they went and did a random test of all the cannabis stores, and they have a lot more of the THC in them than they were supposed to have.
Well, that's a good thing. Okay, do you want to find Arnold? There he is on Facebook, and also on X. Are there any other platforms that you're on?
I have Instagram too.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we're connected. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just follow you here. There we go. Because I'm going to post this video and tag you on X when we're finished today. So
Cool.
if you know anyone in the audience, anyone from Sault Ste. Marie, please send them this video so they can get to know Arnold and their candidate for New Blue that could transform Sault Ste. Marie to the better. And I think this is our last chance, because I think they're coming to an end game. The 2030, you own nothing, and like this is it, really. That's the way I believe. I believe that they're going to, they have an agenda here.
Well, I agree with you. I mean, it's like it's they're throwing it right in our face. They're not hiding it anymore.
No.
When you have Klaus Schwab saying that I've infiltrated half the parliament there, and then when you have a guy that called in and said he wanted to know who the parliamentarians are that are infiltrated, and then you had Speaker of the House saying that, well, I'm sure it was a good question, but I could not understand the question. Like you lied, right? It was live on TV, and you lied. The Speaker of the House lied to all the Canadian people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what is it like in Sault Ste. Marie? Like, can you just tell me about what it's like to live there, and the atmosphere? Is there like immigration problem, or like what is the temperature? The temperature, you know what I mean? The
It's warm today.
social, yeah.
Well, if you see behind me, there's that sign there, Sault Ste. Marie Algoma's friendliest city, and it used to be. I mean, you could ride your bike across town. It was great, and then all of a sudden, the last 10 years, it's been we had like we're in the top 5 or 6 most crime-ridden cities in Canada. We had the highest opioid death in Ontario. We lost that distinction, but kids have no chance of getting jobs because we are overrun by immigrants. You got to tell it like it is. Like I
Is
find it
it
hard.
no longer the friendliest city?
It's still friendly, but it's not safe.
Oh, yeah.
You don't go out there and let your kids play outside. Like if you go downtown, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just. I mean, the crime rate is horrendous, and that's because of the catch and release. Like I mean, and plus,
So you did, yeah. That's
and
terrible,
plus,
man.
and plus I think I'm obviously I'm biased, but we have the best police force in Canada, but the problem is they're doing what they can, but you have the judges. It's like a revolving door. The same people over and over and over, and the police can only do so much, and then the judges have to be start like our charter rights. Our laws are perfect. As long as you follow the laws the way they're written. But the problem is you have government officials telling the judges, "This is the way I want you to interpret, not the way it's supposed to be interpreted." So
Well, I mean, I want New Blue to get a whole bunch of seats, if not a official opposition or a majority, because otherwise there's really no way out. Like everyone else is voting with their caucus. They're voting. NDP will vote how the leader wants them to vote. There's no individuality in these parties.
No, you're right. They're beholden. They're beholden to their leaders and their policy, in that, and they don't deviate. Like if you, let's say if you're with the PCs and you say I can't I don't believe in abortion, whatever, or I don't believe in DI, the other, they'll probably kick you out like they did to Belinda. So I mean
But you
that's
don't have such a. You're not like that in the New Blue, are you?
oh no,
You
no, no.
you will vote according to your own heart and your best interest, and what
Yep,
you critically think is best. Like you
exactly.
will vote for your constituents,
That's right.
and that's what we need.
There's that old saying, like it's we the people, not we the government.
Yeah.
And the sad part is people, they get voted in, and they go to Queens Park or to Ottawa, represented people, and for some reason they take a pill there or something like that, because when they come back, is now they're working for the government. Something happens when they get in there, like, and it's
Hmm.
sad.
Yep. Would the
And
New
that's,
Blue stop funding media?
yep,
Would they end protection of liability to drug companies and media for lying?
yeah, they,
Because
they
they
should
can
not
lie and get away with it.
no. If you lie, like with the COVID, not like we have
Yeah.
we have we have to open that up. We have to
Like if we
open
have
it up.
rotten meat, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to open that up, and we have to do an inquiry into it to see what went on, and then whoever's involved needs to be charged accordingly.
Yeah, and the New Blue also like if someone dies from a new medication, will the end you like rotten meat in the shelf gets pulled right away, and people are told right away. Now, if someone
Yeah,
dies from a new drug or an injection, would the New Blue pull it from the shelves and do the same, give the same courtesy to the public about the dangers?
I would go one step farther. I mean, if you're going to try a new drug, it has to be fully tested and 100%. Otherwise, it's like you look at the COVID shots there. Like, I mean, we were the guinea pigs, and they said that on live TV in the European nation there.
Yeah. And who would have thought that it just takes a little bit of critical thinking to think these things through? Like anyone with a real heart and that cared about people would have never done all these things that have been happening to us. It's
Oh,
like they're not real people. They have no compassion or empathy for those who suffer. And
well,
that's what I like about New Blue. There's real people there in the party.
well,
I've met quite a few.
like the old saying goes, it's follow the money, and unfortunately, people, once they get a taste of a lot of money, then the greed the
Hmm.
greed creeps in, and it's hard to get away from that. I'm sure. Or is it that they have something over them so they can't get away from it?
Well, if you get a seat in Parliament or the legislature, um, I just want to let you know up front, I do make good pot of coffee.
Good.
If you need like a receptionist or I do coffee and I answer phones. So if you ever need some help in your new office with your big chair with the lumbar support,
As long as you have the music and the piano and the scotch and the cigar, then I'll be happy. Just kidding.
yeah, I'll play some nice peaceful music as the drug companies and the media empire walk through to their doom.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds great. No, I want you to get a seat. I'm not going to lie about it. This is a truth table. I'm not allowed to lie.
So it'd be nice if we get some seats and we could hold whoever takes over government accountable.
Agreed. 100%. Is there anything you wanted to tell your voters in Sault Ste. Marie about yourself?
I just let them know that I'm a very staunch supporter of the first line in our Charter of Rights, country based on the supremacy of God and the rule of law. and I'm there to represent them. I'm their voice. It's not me telling them what they want. It's me working for them. I think Sault Ste. Marie we can get back to Sault Ste. Marie being a leader in Ontario, because we're the hub. We're the hub of Canada. We're in the middle of Canada. We should be. We're right on the border. We should be. We need a strong voice against all the Southern Ontario. They kind of think this. They kind of seem to think that they're the end all be all. But we Northerners up here are pretty tough.
I think with yeah, I think the people of Sault Ste. Marie need to know that you're going to cut the HST from 13% to 10%.
Yeah.
And axe the carbon tax 100%.
Yeah. Who came out with that saying first?
Axe the tax.
Yeah.
I think that was Bernier. Our
Jim
friend Maxime, who's probably going to be on the show after this provincial election. He's coming back for another roundtable, and I feel very fortunate. He's been on 2 of my shows already.
Awesome.
And he's answered every question, just like you. And you see, that's the thing about honest people, and the truth is, there's no there's no flipping through pages. I mean, it's just there. It is. There's no imbalance in the truth. It's very solid, But also, I mean, the people of Sault Ste. Marie need to know that they're going to have more money in their pocket if they vote for you, because you're going to take down the wind turbines to reduce electricity prices, cancel all the electrical vehicle subsidies. I mean, there's nobody else who's going to do that. Maybe the Libertarian Party is probably the only one that would also do the same thing. So I find you're also parallel with them. And, it surprises me that they've been around for so long and they've never got a seat. And it doesn't, like the Freedom Convoy and the Truckers Convoy and all the rallies, all these people that seem to want peace and freedom always had that option with the Libertarians, and they just never took it. So it just baffles my mind. Hopefully the last 4 years woke people up to how important it is, their vote. And, too many people are not voting. Statistically, I don't know if it's 54% not even voting. And we really need to rally up the people to vote for New Blue, get the seats in the House so they can stop bad legislation, I mean, and vote against these horrible things that they're doing to us, and even bring them back to the table and have them rescinded and get rid of them. But we can't do that without seats. And if you really treasure your freedom, you will consider voting for the New Blue in this provincial election, because there really isn't a lot of opportunities. You've got the New Blue, Libertarian, and what was the other one? Oh my goodness. I don't want to confuse anyone, so I'm just going to say New Blue and Libertarian. Oh, well, yeah, we have independents. That they also would not be subject to the caucus, to the party, beholden to the party. But I do like that about the New Blue is also like that. And I believe Libertarian, but I think we all have like minds. We're all of like minds, so we would vote that way anyway. Well, I don't think we would have to be told by the leader how to vote. I think we would all vote the same, because we're pretty much all critical thinkers and we all care about the betterment of our people.
Well, the beauty of the New Blue Party too is that we have a choice for working on our principles together. So Jim gets us together, and we all get together, and we as a group collectively get our principles on paper. So which is a whole team effort. So it's not Jim telling us what we have to do. He's working with all of us. He wants all of us to work hand in hand.
Yeah, and when you get together, you create the platform and you modify the platform together as a unit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're all everyone would pretty much vote the same way because you might be the only party that offers to enhance freedoms, to enhance the size of your wallet. I mean, and parental rights be reinstated.
What a
These things,
concept, eh?
all these things are so important right now. We know what the media and the drug companies and the corporations and the government are all working together against us. Even the polling is skewed. A real poll would have every registered party. They wouldn't exclude any. If they're registered, they should be on a poll. You know,
Exactly.
simple as that.
Yeah, I
And
agree
I
with
think that, yeah, if we have 26 parties, you know, they could be in the poll. I think we have a lot of useless parties. You know, the Marxist Party and the Communist Party. I mean, come on, man. Should they even be allowed? You know, high treason. Vote for us.
you. Yeah.
We'll guarantee you treason and dictatorial powers over you. Yeah, that's an option. So, yes, so some of them are kind of silly. It almost seems like it's the government in power that are just creating the Marxist Party just to see how many people they've got. You know what I mean? Just to take the temperature of the society and to get a pulse on how their mind games and mind control and through television and news and how they're manipulating and changing the way people think and behave. You would get rid of all of that, right?
Last I heard, we live in Canada, not Russia or China or that. So,
Well, the new blue promise to get rid of these programs and this manipulation of our people through the television.
well, we have to hold them accountable there. I mean,
Good.
it should be fair for everybody.
Yeah, and I hope I want to make sure everyone has as much information as possible to know about what the platform would do to enhance your life. And so we really have an option here. We have an opportunity to save Ontario. And I hope you all vote. I want to thank you, Arnold, for coming on the show. And I hope this reaches all your constituents, all the voters in your area, so they can hear what you have to say and hopefully go to the New Blue online website and just read through the platform. And I would recommend you read all of them. Go to all of them, hear what they have to say. You know, I'm just trying to save you time by telling you what my picks are. And it's still my own opinion. I mean, but I don't hide my opinion. I want to enhance freedom. I want to enhance the power of the parent to discipline their child or to to have the right kind of education for the children that respects their moral ethics and high ground and religious beliefs. I mean, can all be done. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not even going to be hard. We can hire a mechanic to create a curriculum for mechanics and or carpentry, and then it's done. Expose the children to it, see who likes it. If they like it, they can continue with that, even if they have to go to a different school where they can focus on being a carpenter
Yep.
or an architect. So I mean, we could do everything much better. It only takes a little bit of love for mankind to come up with solutions, and we have not seen it. We don't have any party on the news that's working for us. And I hope everyone at home spreads that information and enlightens their fellow man and takes takes a hold of this opportunity that we have. So thank you very much for coming on the show, and I'll be posting this so everyone can see it. Thank you, Arnold, and thank you everyone at home.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a
My
blast.
pleasure. Thank you for coming. Episode 60, the big 60. And it just so happens I just turned 60, but I'm not quite 30 I'm still 30-ish, okay? Even though it's 60. But my 60th show, my 60th birthday. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Arnold, for joining us. And we'll see you next time, episode 61 on the Truth Table. We'll see you all next time. Thank